Well, thank you very much for this enlightening presentation. I'm of the steering committee of the World Council for Health, so we're very, very interested in a project like it. One question, did you ever consult health regulatory agencies, and did you get any answer from them?
Well, in the US that I live, we don't need any anything to market the product as long as we don't make a claim. So we don't make any claims. There is no barrier to this product, but you can't make a claim. All we can say is it helps the immune system like any food does. So.
But did you ever make any suggestion to FDA? Yeah.
No, FDA will not allow a product which is, they have already defined it as a food ingredient to be called a drug. This is where we are stuck. They already called it a food ingredient. We are stuck with that. We can't call it a drug. It's like water is technically a drug, okay? Because when you are thirsty, your cells are dehydrated. You don't look for FDA label. You drink water. It hydrates the cell. The biological reactions go on. So they have already classified this as food. It's been grandfathered in as a grass substance. So there's nothing we can do about it. Even if I did 1 million people study, they won't approve a claim. But of course, they will take deadly vaccines with all kinds of crap and say, okay, you know, it has power. So this is the way the world is, unfortunately. It's very...
Yeah, so true. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Dr. Raghu. Okay, I will be unmuting you, yeah? JX Cham, please proceed with your question.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Raghu and everyone. I'm JX Cham, a medical doctor, but in the VC firm, Capital Markets. I have 3 questions for you, Dr. Raghu. The first one being that one of your slides mentioned that the market valuation can breach more than 4.4 trillion. We would like to clarify that. That's number one. Second is that...
Let me ask the first one. It is not the market thing. It is the market for health and wellness products in the world today. So.
Right. So it's not in particular to METADICHOL itself. Okay, thank you.
That's the market.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So the second one will be, what are the few latest case studies done on METADICHOL, if there's any, would like to know?
We keep getting, you know, the problem, one of the problems we have is we are trying to get the governments in the world to look at it for TB because it works wonderfully in TB. It's one disease we have not conquered in the world. But, you know, there is so much WHO and big pharma trying to prevent it from happening in all the healthcare ministries. But we hope that we will get permission from some country or the other to allow it for TB.
Okay.
We have done case studies. We have done people, you know, there's so many case studies which I can share with you if you write to me. We keep getting every day.
Yes,
we are not
do.
doing specifically clinical studies because it's hard to convince people who have been brainwashed by a system of pharma for 100 years. Hey, here, it's water. It's very tough. It's like the sugar one I told you about. It's very hard for you to believe that sugar cures diabetes. But what these people have done in Colombia, Dr. Jorge, is done it and shown it works, but nobody is going to believe you. They have to do it themselves and experience. So METADICHOL is, our goal is to get it into the hands of people. You know, I think Niall O'Brien is from UK, is in the audience somewhere, and if you unmute him, he will tell you his experience with METADICHOL. He did recently in UK in the last 1 week. Perhaps you can unmute Niall O'Brien. He can raise his hand. You can probably see him.
Yeah, I've unmuted him.
Go ahead, Niall.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm based in Essex in the UK. I have a bottling plant. I bottle spring water in Devon and Cornwall, 2 factories. And just recently I took and I put 1 milliliter each 330 ml bottle. And those cases went out to various friends and family. One in particular was my daughter, who's been suffering with thyroid problems for 26 years. I'm 76. After about 1 week of drinking the water, she ran out of thyroxine And normally, if she runs out of thyroxine, she goes through depression, fatigue, tiredness, and has trouble sleeping. But she didn't notice those symptoms while she was drinking the water. And she managed to go 10 days without thyroxine, which was a first in the history of the 26 years. My wife also has a thyroid problem, and she was suffering with palpitations, high pulse rate, hot and cold sweats. You know, in the evening, she'd get hot, she'd try to cool down, then she'd get cold. And since drinking in the water, all that has ceased. Everything's gone like normal. But this is anecdotal, just to me. And also some friends, they're all reporting back to me, because I've got it on trial for Dr. Raghaven, because my intention is to produce a bottle of water in glass, and we're already in it, so people are getting the benefit of the water, and that's the intention. I'm only interested in getting it out there, getting it to people, and helping them through the various problems they might have, because I was party to you know, a demonstration that Dr. Raghaven came here to the UK and put it up on a screen for all to see. And those people that were present at that meeting, they also had the water with, and one of the guys had psoriasis on his legs, and that's cleared up. So anecdotally, I can say with genuine heart that it's had an effect on everybody who's taken it. So our intention is to try and market it in the UK, possibly for export, we don't know. But I've got the ability to do it.
All right, thank you. Now let's look at some of the questions in the chat box here. Dr. Raghavan, can METADICHOL treat lymph nodes on the neck?
Yeah, absolutely. We have had people whose lymph nodes have disappeared. It's in the testimonials. I'm sure we have had many people report that. We've had, in fact, I have the CT scan. I haven't shared with anybody here yet. Of a lady, during COVID times, she could not go and get cancer treatment because she had a lung cancer. And so her son, who happens to be an oncologist, used our product and shared his CT scan with me. The lung cancer was gone in 6 months because she didn't take any other product. So all the nodes and everything disappeared. So
that's
the
amazing.
The key is this. This is something I can't tell you people about lung cancer is cancer, especially is I can't tell you to stop taking it, whatever drug you're taking. I'm not a doctor to tell you, but people who do it on their own, some people have done that, have recovered remarkably very quickly, because cancer, as you know, the chemotherapy destroys all your immune cells. METADICHOL is rebuilding your immune cell. It's one step forward, one step backward, so you won't see a result. Whenever you take drugs, an average drug, having worked in pharma, I worked with Novartis and Boehringer Ingelheim and so on. An average drug has 320 side effects. So the more drugs you take, the more side effects you're going to have.
All right, got it. And what about HIV patients, doctor? Can you give more details in regarding on how METADICHOL helps?
Yeah, we have seen improvement in CD4 plus count. So, you know, we have seen that happen. We have 1 or 2 cases, at least 2 cases that I know of. See, the problem I have is this. There are 55,000 diseases that affect mankind so far, according to WHO. Which disease do I focus on? We focus on the entire body, that's all. We focus on the immune system because I can't do a specific study for a specific drug because this works at the immune level. It boosts your immune system. See, METADICHOL by itself doesn't do anything. It's basically teaching the immune system to heal itself. This is the way it's supposed to work.
Okay. Can diabetic be reversed and cured for the long term?
We have done that, many people, yeah, with diabetes, yes.
Okay. There was also questions about anti-aging, but I'm sure you have covered that. Can children below 6 consume rhinitis and hay fever issue? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing rhinitis, RHINITIS.
Rhinitis.
Okay.
Yeah. It will work. We have given it to children as young as 1 week old. So.
Okay, got it. Now let's get back to the questions that will be coming directly from the participant themselves. I'm going to unmute you, Dr. Jerry. Please proceed with your question. Okay.
Hey, Dr. Raghu.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending time with us. Wonderful talk. I've been using your methodical for my patients, and I must tell you there's good results, especially thyroid and diabetes, cholesterol, and all that. Okay.
Even some people see what we have noticed is this. If it senses that your body, there are biomarkers in your body which are way out of control, it will very quickly act on it. It does a triage of your body, literally. For example, we had a patient, my own cousin, her blood sugar was 550. The next day after taking 1 shot, 5 sprays, it came to 350. And the second day it was 220 and the third day was 160. But from 160 down to 100, it took much longer because it goes back to the origin of diabetes, which is the insulin resistance that needs to be fixed. This is the key. Until you fix insulin resistance, the sugar level will not come back to normal.
Have you experienced a temporary spike in sugar first few times?
You may experience depending on what you eat, but you will get spikes because the way that it will work is, let's say you're taking metformin, you slightly reduce metformin, the sugar may tend to go up because it's called the bounce back effect. It'll go up and down, up and down, up and down before it finally becomes normal. It never comes down in a straight line, never.
Okay.
All right.
My last question was, I think I've read some of your studies. For cases of autoimmune, obviously we're not talking about boosting the immune system, but regulating. I presume methodical can help with autoimmune.
Yeah, we have done thyroid disease, which is Hashimoto syndrome.
Yeah, so it's the same. Yeah.
Rheumatoid arthritis, which is again autoimmune disease. So many other diseases, hepatitis A, B, C, all that we have done. I have many case studies. I don't put it because I have something like, I don't know, 13,000 pages of people telling me what happened to them, but I don't put everything until I get the data from them, So.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Leave it to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to limit like 1 to 2 questions per person because we have just limited time here. All right, next I'm going to unmute Mariana. Please proceed with your question. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Raghu. How are you?
Yeah, good.
First off, I wanted to tell you that your product is great. I just used it in the last month because I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis on 1 foot. And the doctor had said that I needed to put ice and take aspirin or whatever could be used against the pain for 3 months. And yeah, my foot actually is much better in a month now. I did want to ask now, one person that's become very mainstream now here in the United States is Bobby Kennedy Jr. And this goes a lot to what you've said about big pharma and food. If you agree with him, he said that one of the reasons why the United States has become the country with the most diseases in the world and where people most died of COVID, he attributes it to the food and the diseases the food causes, and that the treatments they give you for these diseases usually make the diseases worse. Do you agree with that argument?
Absolutely. Food is the ultimate, food is the ultimate medicine. There's no ways about it. I mean, I look at my grandfather. He lived to be 97. He lived in India with all the infectious diseases of the world, but he had healthy habits. He wanted a mango, he would go and pluck a mango from the tree and eat it, no processing, nothing. And the rice he ate was unprocessed rice, which is very high in policosanol. And the sugar he ate was jaggery. And he drank coconut water, he sat in the sun, went for a walk, ate food at the right time. This is the key. There is, getting disease is not a mystery. How it happens, it's all in the food. For example, many of the American food, I don't touch American food. I don't go to all the oils they use, for example, in restaurants all over the world is like sunflower oil or vegetable oil, all these have a high level of omega-6, and omega-6 causes inflammation. So you want low, the best oil to have is coconut oil, which is what I use, or a little bit of olive oil I use. But the rest of the oils are all inflammatory oils. That's why you go to restaurants, you get sick. I stopped going to restaurants. Immediately my health became better 15 years ago.
Excellent.
The second thing I want to mention briefly is, he may not admit it, but Bobby Kennedy used my product to improve his voice. You can look at his voice from 2019 and 2021. He was using our product. His voice improved. I have proof, but I can't disclose it. So I just let you know. So he has used our product. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Yep.
He'll text message me. I can text him today. He replies back usually. So, but now he has stopped because he's running for president. So he's not going to endorse any product. So.
Oh, so he's very much proof that a natural product like yours can combat even diseases that they think are incurable.
Yeah, you have to understand that the double-blind studies in pharma is the law of man, created to sell drugs or convince people. And there's a big study done published in Nature 15 years ago or 20 years ago, where they took a person and said, we are giving you morphine. Actually, they gave him water when he had pain. He didn't, his pain went away. The other person, they gave morphine, but they told him, we are giving you water. His pain didn't go away. So it's a mind over matter, because mind, when you think, people talk about placebo effects. Placebo effect simply means the body is capable of healing itself. That is the meaning of placebo effect. The more placebo effect you have, the more the body is capable of healing itself. So something that you take causes a placebo effect. If it's 100%, it's well and good. Don't go to a doctor, endocrinologist, and say, check me out, check my blood sugar. They know exactly what to do because they're in tune with nature. One of the things I noticed about my dog, when the sun comes out, he goes and sits in the sun for 20 minutes. Every day. He follows the sun literally, even in winter. And the other thing you've noticed about dogs, when they poop, they also always follow the north-south direction. Look, that's the magnetic north-south pole. If you have dogs, observe them next time. It's very interesting.
Hey, thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Next, I'm going to unmute you, Mr. Kasyong. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, Dr. Raghavan. First of all, thanks for replying to my message this morning through the LinkedIn. Okay, I would like to compliment you for the products. I gave this product to a friend who was down with Parkinson for 20 years, and 4 days ago, and I didn't notice that she didn't mention about her reading capability. And upon giving her 4 squirts, and after 2 to 3 minutes, she immediately reported that she was able to read the fine print on the bottles, wow. which he was unable to do during the past 2-3 years, suffering from the reading problem. That was very amazing, and both of us were shocked to listen to that, to see the amazing things, the miracles happen right in front of us. She was able to read for what she couldn't do for the past 2 years. That was fantastic. And she is down with Parkinson disease, so we hope that this product can work for her. Is there any research?
My mother had Parkinson's, and it took her about 1.5 years before it sort of normalized, so to some extent.
Wow, that's fantastic. So is there any hearing crisis when using this product for Parkinson's disease patients?
See, what has happened is Parkinson's, the drugs they use, L-Dopa, I don't know what else they use, they form a lot of metabolites in the body. So what happens during metabolite formation is that the body doesn't need these chemicals in your system. It's trying to get rid of it. So this may be a reaction to it, That's all I think. But the product by itself has 0 side effects. We have never had you have to drink 25,000 bottles in one day to have a side effect.
I see. I see. What she suffered is during the last 3 days, she noticed that when his Parkinson disease drugs lost the effect, and then after a few hours,
Now, sometimes it gets
she becomes
worse.
stiff. Yes, again.
Sometimes things can think it's going bad, but that's the way the
Okay. So it's
body
something like healing crisis.
the threshold of pain before it can cure you. Okay, it's not going to be in a straight line downwards.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Raghavan.